Why did Titanic sink? Which took 1,200 days to build, sink in just 2 hours. On April 10, 1912, the world witnessed the maiden voyage of Titanic, the largest and most expensive ocean liner ever constructed. The day was marked by tranquil waters in the Atlantic Ocean, with no indication of an impending storm. A total of 1,500 passengers had already boarded the ship, while countless onlookers gathered at the dock to witness the grand departure. Little did anyone know, neither the passengers nor the multitude bidding farewell, nor the Titanic crew, that grave errors had been made during the construction of the ship. These mistakes, unbeknownst to them, would render the ship vulnerable to its tragic fate. You will learn about the most expensive, luxurious, and esteemed vessel of its time. Had these mistakes not been made during the creation of the mighty Titanic, it might have achieved fame for its success rather than its demise. Even Captain Edward Smith, with his 40 years of experience, failed to identify these flaws. It begs the question of whether his extensive expertise should bear some responsibility. The experts at Esperion's were equally oblivious to these mistakes. Furthermore, the Titanic's manufacturer, Harland and Wolff, having previously crafted over 500 ships, also failed to recognize these errors. The construction of Titanic commenced in Unisto 7, taking approximately 3 years and involving the labor of 2,000 workers. The ship was meticulously prepared, but the crucial testing phase remained pending. The confidence of the Titanic makers grew when the ship successfully completed its initial trial run. Titanic offered different classes of travel, with third class costing $30 and first class priced at $150, a sum equivalent to $340,000 in today's currency. As a result of effective marketing, all the tickets were quickly booked. Finally, the day arrived for Titanic's maiden voyage. Mistake number 1, Titanic embarked on its maiden voyage at noon, a decision that would soon expose its flaws. Captain Smith had received a deadline from the ship's owners, demanding that he reach New York by April 17, a mere 6 days away. Consequently, the captain maintained a slow speed from the start. This cautious approach stemmed from the instructions and pressure imposed by the ship's owners, aware of the implications for Titanic's reputation should it fail to arrive in New York on time. Every vehicle, machine, or ship has operational procedures, including speed limits. Sadly, Titanic neglected this crucial aspect right at the beginning of its journey. Within a short span, the ship had ventured so far from the port of Southampton that nothing could be seen on the horizon except the vast expanse of the ocean. Mistake number 2, 3 days had passed since Titanic set sail, with delayed stops in France and Ireland. As Titanic continued its uninterrupted journey towards New York, the evening of April 14, 1912, arrived. A sense of stillness and a peculiar smell permeated the ocean, serving as a warning of the presence of icebergs. Experts believe that this warning was issued at least 4 times. However, due to the negligence of the wireless operators, the most crucial warning was missed. Perhaps, for them, it seemed like an ordinary occurrence, but this constituted Titanic's second mistake. Considering Titanic's status as a luxury vessel and the presence of numerous VIPs on board, this oversight was grave. Despite hurtling towards a field of icebergs in the darkness of the night, Titanic still had a chance for salvation. The lookout personnel, like Allard, diligently scanned the surroundings, ready to alert the captain upon spotting the tip of an iceberg in the distance. Unfortunately, their vision was obstructed, preventing them from perceiving the danger. This constituted the third mistake of Titanic. Captain Smith only learned of the iceberg when the lookout crew reported its presence, describing it as the size of a football field right in front of the ship. The captain grew deeply concerned as the iceberg drew dangerously close. Upon receiving this news, Captain Smith promptly ordered the ship's engine to be stopped and commanded a change in the ship's direction. Despite valiant efforts to avoid the iceberg, the proximity made any action futile. The iceberg struck Titanic at its center. Yet, hope lingered, hoping that the iceberg would spare the ship's hull or crumble upon impact. Unfortunately, Titanic's fourth mistake thwarted this hope. Experts believe that the rivets securing Titanic's hull were made of cast iron, rather than steel. Under the pressure exerted by the collision, these rivets failed, leading to a breach in the ship's structure. This, combined with the iceberg's impact, caused water to gush into the lower sections of the vessel. One of the most critical errors in Titanic's design was the lack of an adequate number of lifeboats. The ship was designed to accommodate up to 3,547 passengers and crew members, but it only carried enough lifeboats to accommodate around 1,178 people. This meant that in the event of an emergency, there were simply not enough lifeboats to evacuate everyone on board. This oversight greatly contributed to the loss of life during the sinking of the Titanic. Mistake number 6. Misjudgment of iceberg risks. Despite receiving multiple iceberg warnings, the crew of the Titanic underestimated the potential risks and failed to take sufficient precautions. It was common practice for ships to alter their course or slow down when navigating through known iceberg regions. However, the Titanic continued to maintain a high speed in the iceberg-infested waters, increasing the chances of a collision. This misjudgment of the iceberg risks and failure to prioritize safety measures played a significant role in the ship's tragic fate. These additional mistakes further compounded the series of events that led to the sinking of the Titanic.